Stories coming in from Karnataka, where the hijab ban debate has once again been reignited in the state. Our newly elected minister, Priyank Kharge, has said that the anti-conversion law that was brought in by the Mumbai government earlier and anything that halts the progress of Karnataka will be repealed. He also mentioned specifically about the cow slaughter bill. Congress MLA N.A. Harris has also echoed the same sentiment, saying that what the BJP did was unconstitutional. He also further said that personal choices must be respected. The BJP has hit back at the Congress, calling it a reverse engine government. Remember, the hijab row began last year in Udupi when hijab-clad students were barred from entering campus. In October 2022, the Supreme Court delivered a split verdict in the case. Justice Gupta was of the opinion that the Karnataka government was well within its right to ban the hijab in educational institutions. However, Justice Dhulia said there was a matter of choice and that the focus must be on the equality and freedom of speech. As the legal tussle continues, faith-driven politics is once again seemingly back in Karnataka.
ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಾವು ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನಿಫೆಸ್ಟೋ ಹೇಳಿದೀವಲ್ಲ, ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ. ಅದು ಸಂವಿಧಾನದ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತದ್ದು. ಅದನ್ನ ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ಪರ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾದಂತದ್ದು ಅದು ಬಂದು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಇದು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಏನು ಹೇಳೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ.
This is a reverse gear. There will be reverse gear government if it comes, and that's exactly they are proving our allegations. It is a retrograde steps these people are taking. This will not do anything good for the progress of the state.
Anand Gurumurthy of the Karnataka BJP will be joining us. Aiyshwarya M, spokesperson of the Congress. Nalin Mehta is group consulting editor with Network18. Aiyshwarya M, this is a matter that even the Supreme Court gave a split verdict a few months ago. The matter is still pending before the Supreme Court. Why does the Congress government want to second guess a matter that's already in court? Why not let the courts decide?
Good evening, Zaka. I think first and foremost, Mr. Priyank Kharge and the Congress party stand united when they talk about laws and bills brought in by the BJP, which do not benefit the state, that does not add to the secular character of the state, and is not beneficial in any way. This is not about a matter that is sub judice, which of course there's a lot that can be commented upon. And this is also not even about the larger dialogue that everybody is trying to make of it being a religious freedom or whether it's an essential practice or not. Zaka, you need to realize what this ban did was it kept so many young girls away from an education, and that we believe is extremely criminal. There's a large ambit of lawmaking that governments can undertake and political parties can undertake. This we believe was non-essential because this controversy never existed before. And mind you, in their run-up to the elections, they did not even mention it. Even though this communal sort of politics was the BJP's pole plank, they realized it wasn't working. But at the heart of all of this, to deprive a young girl of an education is a crime, and this needs to be relooked into, Zaka.
But Aiyshwarya, if you're going to allow, obviously, I mean, the job of the government, the job of the assembly there is to bring in bills, and if you feel that, this hijab ban was unconstitutional, uncalled for, whatever, it's your business to be bringing a bill. But will you then also allow people of other religious faiths to wear, orange scarf or other religious symbolic clothing if you're going to allow hijab inside classrooms?
Zaka, if you look at Karnataka over the years, you've seen that we've been extremely inclusionary in terms of the way that we practice our faith. We are the land of Kuempu, where Sarva Janangada Shantiya Tota is our ideal and it is our motto. To try and extrapolate one move of empowering women again or young girls to get an education again, to liken it to other religious symbols, I believe is a false corollary, one. Second is, if within the lawmaking ambit, if they believe that the legislators believe that this is something that should be or should not be allowed, I'm sure it is up to the wisdom of them. The limited point we're making is that there were bills in the BJP era that served nobody, that were detrimental to the state, they were detrimental for societal cohesion and unity, and that is something that we're going to relook.
So Anand Gurumurthy, the person who pushed this whole hijab and ban in schools and pre-university colleges, etc., was the then Education Minister, Mr. Nagesh. Mr. Nagesh himself has lost his own seat. Forget about the BJP losing in the way it did. If that is not a referendum or, the people speaking their mind on this issue, then what can be?
You cannot just hold one person for this, and you cannot also hold that one person's seat is a reflection of the system. See, basically, I just want to tell you one thing. Whatever was there as part of the rules in schools, that was implemented. And other than that, the BJP did not interfere with that in any way, but it became a social cause related thing and people started speaking about it. Now it's in the court, so let's leave it at that. But why is Congress doing this now? See, basically, they gave 5 guarantees. All those 5 guarantees can't be implemented. So daily they're having one drama. See, this is just keeping a firecracker every day, lighting it up, and everybody talks about the firecracker. That's it. And then, all you news people will start talking about that and forget the 5 guarantees for a day.
No. Is it your contention, Anand, that the elected state government... One second. Sir, once again. Is it your contention that the elected state government cannot bring a bill?
Not like that. What I'm trying to tell you is very simple thing. They are talking about it. Let them do it. Let them do whatever they want to do. Let them fulfill the guarantees. Let them do what they want to do. Why are they coming to media and speaking about it on a day-to-day basis? Why are they, demoralizing our police forces unnecessarily? Let them, they are elected government. They should do their duty, not, shout at police people, not come and shout towards the media.
One second. There is a newly elected government. There are newly elected chief minister, deputy chief minister. They have directed the police force that there won't be any moral policing. What is the BJP's problem with that?
Let's see. Wait a second. Was there any moral policing? Police were doing their duty. Police were not the one who were doing any kind of nonsense.
Okay.
They were doing the duty and they were called upon and, started talking in a very bad way.
There was no moral policing when BJP was in power. That's your contention.
No. See, one thing you have to understand here is they are trying to, take control of things in a very bad manner. The police were doing a good thing. In the last 3.5 years, if you see, the crime rate has fallen down in Karnataka. It has been a good police force. They're doing their duty. And also one more thing, you should not demoralize the force at any point in time.
Aiyshwarya M, respond. I mean, the police force is supposed to be apolitical. This was your contention when BJP was in power. Now you are, turning the tables. You are using the police force. Aiyshwarya M, you're using the police force as though it's some personal fiefdom.
Zaka, it is extremely hilarious that a party and administration that could hardly govern the state wants to give us lectures on governance. Let me tell you, if the police force is actually extremely neutral, there was a minister in the BJP that said we will have Mr. Siddaramaiah hacked the way Tipu was killed. Did anybody do anything about it? No. All we told them in the meeting was that the police have a duty to be secular, that they're supposed to protect the people, be people-friendly, irrespective of caste, creed, and community across the state. And there is nothing wrong in this.
So let me ask Nalin Mehta is waiting. Once again, away from the political spokespersons. Let me go to Nalin Mehta.
1 minute.
Nalin Mehta, please. Nalin Mehta on screen. Nalin, the question is, the Congress, through much of the campaign, stayed away from the whole hijab issue or halal issue or issues that were considered divisive. Of course, in the fag end, when their manifesto was released, there was this mention of banning the Bajrang Dal. Even that, there was scaling back after the furor around it. What was the need for the Congress to come out and say that we will look at all these laws, cow slaughter law, other laws, anti-conversion law that was brought in by the BJP, this hijab law, and if anything is against the progress of Karnataka, we will circumvent it, or we will, find a via media out of it. Was there any compelling political need to say that, and that too within the first, few days of this government?
So, 2 things. You're very right, Saka, that during the election campaign, the Congress played a very smart game by not being baited by the BJP. They avoided the temptation of getting into ideological wars and all of that. I think what the Congress is doing now, because of the scale of its victory, it's signaling that it's won the ideological war in its view, and it's trying to reverse various ideological positions taken by the BJP in governance. While a government, I think you made this point earlier in the program, while any government is especially a government with a good majority, is well within its rights to implement or to try and push through whatever moves they want to push through, which they believe in. I think whether there is political wisdom in doing that right now or not is an open question, because the Congress did not win this on ideological positioning. Is it right? Is it well within its right to do it? Absolutely. But I think overall, this mandate has also been against corruption. It's been an anti-incumbency mandate. It's not necessarily been an ideological mandate. The BJP has retained its vote share as well. Of course, the Congress would argue that, look, we won this. So, but I think if you
Nalin, let me put that question in another way. What political purpose then is served by the Congress making this a cornerstone issue in a way that they did not during the campaign?
I'm not sure about the larger political purpose beyond the fact that it may be signaling to the rest of the country that this is an ideological fault line. We have now won this electoral battle and we are now signaling that this is what we stand for. We didn't do this when we were in the campaign trail because that might have been counterproductive. So I think that's what it is.
Aiyshwarya, if the Congress stayed away from this issue during the campaign because you believed that it might be politically counterproductive, why then is it not counterproductive now? Why is this the reason why the people of the state elected you? To bring back hijab?
1 second, Zaka, I think again we're drawing completely false lines on this. The fact that we ran our election on our guarantees and spoke about the BJP's corruption is something that we're taking very strong action on. All 5 of our guarantees have been approved by the cabinet. A lot of criticism, Anand, if you give me time, I'll tell you exactly how he's wrong when he says it. And the other thing is we've already started investigation, whether it's the Ganga Kalyana scheme. We've already started investigating the scams of the BJP. But do not tell me, because that was not my election plank, that I cannot work to safeguard the secular credentials of my state.
You definitely can. No one is saying no. No, one second, Aiyshwarya, the simple contention that's being made is you definitely can. Nalin is also 100% right. You can bring whatever bill you want to bring. You are a big majority government. Obviously, you can read the mandate you please. All I'm asking is, why is there this dissonance? You did not talk about hijab for 3 months of the campaign. But now suddenly within the first week of this government, hijab becomes another big issue. Why?
1 second. Zaka, the idea still remains that we are pro-people. We will work on the plank of taking action for corruption. We will work on the guarantees. We have also spoken about looking at laws that need to be overturned that do not benefit people. For example, you're talking about the cow slaughter, anti-conversion bill. Several times, Mr. Priyank Kharge himself has blown open the fallacy of the BJP's falsehood in session itself. Do not tell me that my government cannot look at re-examining laws that inconveniences people.
Okay.
Election planks are one, but the welfare of the people of the state is of primacy.
So Anand Gurumurthy, it's not just hijab, it's also cattle slaughter ban. They believe there's a economic cost that has been caused because of that. It is also the anti-conversion bill. They are saying the whole gamut of bills. And to be fair to Priyank Kharge, he did not name the hijab issue. He said anti-conversion. He said, of course, the cow slaughter issue. And he said anything that is against progressivism of Karnataka, they will take a relook at. That any government is well within its right to do.
See, it's not about the rights. They're just doing this on a daily basis. They're coming up with one issue. Yesterday, MB Patil came and told it's 5 years of Siddaramaiah. So the whole evening goes in, discussion on that. Today, this issue. Tomorrow, they will start.
But Anand, on day one, they signed their guarantees. Okay, what are you talking about? On day one, they signed their guarantees.
No, see, I think a guarantee with Tatvika, it is just, they've done it. And their promise was from June 1st, you don't have to pay electricity bill. And that was thrown on the people by DCM, who is the DCM today. And, people, they spoke about it in every speech. Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar, in every speech, they, in dramatic ways, they have spoken about these guarantees. And then finally, they just say, Tatvika Oppige, like that, the letter is posted. That's it, okay? They are not going to do anything about it. They are going to, just delay things. And they are not able to finalize the ministers. And
no, but Anand, I don't get it. If in the first cabinet meeting, the chief minister and the rest of the cabinet has signed off on these 5 guarantees, I can understand, you asking where is the money going to come from, how are they going to implement. All of this I can understand. But you can't accuse them of not, signing off on the 5 guarantees that they have done.
See, signing off and putting it on officers, then, calling the officers, IPS officers and telling, hey, you're not going to work like this, you're going to work like this. All this is, just talk.
So is the chief minister going to then check, is every woman of the household going to get 2,000 rupees? That's not his job. No. Anyway, you're missing the point, sir. Anyway, let me get Nalin Mehta. As I'm getting, closing comments here. Nalin Mehta, I think there is a dichotomy here that Congress while it campaigned, it stayed away from this issue for whatever reason. Again, it's a political party. It might be part of a strategy. They're well within their right to stay out of that issue. The assumption is if they've stayed away from that issue, they don't want to polarize it. Why does a party of campaigning and a party of governance have different priorities? It's a fair question to ask.
Well, I think the Congress feels far more confident of implementing these things now because of the mandate it's got. I also think the Congress is signaling to other other states that this is what it stands for unequivocally. I think because of the scale of the victory, this debate of counter-polarization did not happen in Karnataka against the Congress. So therefore, it's feeling more confident. I think it's trying to reward its the voters to message to the voters that came to it. Is it a good? Is it a wise political strategy at this point in time? Is an open question.
Okay, and look, ultimately we're all students of politics. I don't think we're in a position to judge whether this is a wise political move or not. I guess time will tell that. But we'll leave it at that. Aiyshwarya M, Anand Gurumurthy and Nalin Mehta, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see how this story plays out. Like I said, one very critical factor is that this matter is still pending before the Supreme Court. It was a 1-1 split verdict. It's now been referred to a larger bench. So will the Congress actually bring a bill before the Supreme Court reconvenes and then takes a call on this?